Alfons, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to WEF 2019 and also to HCL at Davos.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about the Global Fund. I know it's kind of funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Just tell us a little bit more around the work that the fund is doing currently.
So the full name is the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. It's a multilateral organization founded by Kofi Annan and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in the early 2000s. It's funded by many countries around the world who pool money together to actually procure health products for HIV, malaria and tuberculosis. And what we found in 2008, that when we gave countries money to procure a product, it often didn't really go well. Sometimes there was corruption, often there was inefficiencies.
Right.
Then we fixed that by buying products on their behalf from Geneva and Switzerland. Then when the products actually arrived, we realized that they didn't reach the patient. So now the Global Fund has set up a supply chain team with a lot of private sector experience in there, which are helping countries to really optimize their supply chain processes and digitize them at the same way, to make sure that people who live in rural areas also have access to life-saving medicine.
The theme for WEF 19 this year is Globalisation 4.0. From a supply chain perspective, what are your thoughts around that, and what are the future insights that you're picking up today?
So it's a very interesting question. I think supply chain has been evolving gradually over the last few years. I had the benefit of working in many developing countries. And what I've seen is that there's a lot of appetite in business to embrace change, but not everyone knows yet what the change is going to look like. So people try, they play, they test and they pilot. And many companies, including Unilever, have made big bets in technology changes and adopting technology. Most of them have worked well, some not. And likewise at the Global Fund now, we're trying to really fix supply chains which deliver medicine to people in developing countries, to really jumpstart going basically from a very poor manual supply chain to use some of the learnings which we've made in the private sector to avoid having to make those mistakes again and use the technologies which are available today. That's how I see it evolve in the near future.
The heart of digitalization is really the culture and the mindset.
Yeah.
So how do you bring that to your team? Because I understand there's a lot of focus on digital transformation within the work you're doing at the Global Fund.
I can put in $1 million investment into a system and it will fail, almost guaranteed, if you don't have the processes right first. So we really use that experience to create a process which can be digitized. And then once we have that process, we digitize it, we give people the tools. I saw a great example in Uganda with UPS, where the nurse now has a tablet where she keeps track of her inventory and she puts an order of products she needs. And suddenly it happens.
I mean, as part of the Global Fund, you're really solving some world problems from a customer, and so your customer actually becomes the common man, literally.
Yes.
How do you kind of look at customer experience?
Since I've joined the Global Fund, we start to measure on-shelf availability of a health product at a health facility, which is exactly the same way as Unilever and other FMCG companies measure the quality of their supply chain. So what we do every quarter, we send out people into the fields, or we use the data systems if they exist, to measure in how many cases the product was there when the patient came in and in how many cases it wasn't. So if it was available on 83%, that means that 17% of the patients on that particular day were walking away empty-handed. In private sector, it means that you missed a sale. Here you might lose a life, so the impact can be quite different. And we're working towards a solution to understand what drives that loss of availability and then invest and support countries improving those losses in their supply chain.
What would your advice be to your peer set on innovation for the future?
Put yourself in the shoes of an operator. Make sure that you understand how easy or more difficult the job will be and where the value will come from before you force it onto other people. And if I may add one more example, I worked for Starbucks a few years. And before they gave me a laptop and a mobile phone, they put me in a store to work as a barista for a week to learn who the customer is, how to make a beverage and how to clean the toilets. Only then I qualified to take up a role in the management position there. And I think that truly allows you to put solutions forward to people who actually have to deal with the consequences of your proposals.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.